We just didn't know what the storylines would be. And for the most part, pretty good weekend.
Yeah, pretty good weekend. I mean, there were more wins than losses, but unfortunately, 2 of the losses, 2 out of the 3 came with one team, which is killing the chances of a Flyers playoff berth. So here's the deal. Normally, sports talk radio is what's the lead? What's the hard-hitting topic? Today's the day where we can react to 3 teams. The Sixers with 2 wins over the weekend. I know it was against the Grizzlies and the Spurs, 2 teams where you expected them to win, but you had Joel Embiid for only one of them. You knew he wasn't going to play in both games of the back-to-back, especially coming off of the injury. And the good sign is, look, he has now looked great in 3 games. Drops 30 the first night against the Grizzlies. I wanted him to play against the Spurs because I wanted him to go up against Wemby.
And I think we all sort of thought that was the way it was going to go. But when I said it the other day, I was like, remember he scored 70 last time.
Right. Yeah, but
Maybe
I also thought Wemby could be a factor. And look, the Sixers almost dropped it yesterday. But shout out to Tyrese Maxey. Connor, let's hear how it sounded. A couple of seconds left in the fourth quarter, down a bucket, and Maxey sends it to overtime.
0.7 to go. Sixers inbounding to the right in the offensive end, down 2, 111-109. Batum inbounding. Maxey cuts off an Oubre screen. He gets into the lane. He gets it. He lays it up and in. He ties the game. Time 9 to go. Spurs no out. Wembanyama flips it. Sixers pick it up. Batum for the win. He banked it, but no good. Overtime in San Antonio.
Tyrese Maxey drops 52 points last night. Dude, in 54 minutes. That guy better have had beers or whatever waiting for him in the locker room yesterday.
Well, he was going to dinner with mom and dad after.
Yeah, I hope he didn't fall asleep at dinner.
So I would imagine that you might.
54 minutes.
That was unbelievable. And more importantly, it's you don't expect when Joel Embiid's out that Tyrese Maxey can just carry the franchise to huge success. But what he's shown you, 3 different nights.
Yes.
He can put up 50.
Yeah.
He can put up, and he's one of those guys that can do that. That can, on a given night, he can do it. And more importantly, on the other nights, he's not crappy.
Right.
He's just a little more human.
Yeah.
Last night, they needed an inhuman effort. It would have secured them. If they had lost last night, it would have secured them that they were in the play-in game.
Right. And now you still have a chance.
Now they
to
still
get
have a chance.
Seed. I know it's still tough to get there, and we'll get to that later on. But look, that was a great win for the Sixers. So we're going to have questions based off of all of these teams that I'll get to as this segment continues. Phillies, they take 2 of 3 against the Nationals. And, it sucked that they lost yesterday. I know you weren't thrilled with the Sunday lineup, but Sosa had a nice day.
And again, base running. This team is...
Dude, it's crazy.
This team runs it. This team
unbelievable.
Gives up outs defensively, gives away outs on the base paths.
I mean, it's unreal.
They take outs away from themselves they're a dumb base running team.
Now, Kyle Schwarber, what are you doing getting doubled up at first base? I know that it looked like a bleeder off the bat, but
are you kidding me?
You got to read that better. And he gets done. Now, was that the reason why they lost the game? No, the bats were pretty much silent except for Edmundo Sosa yesterday, but it kills any momentum, especially when it's the middle of your order up to bat.
By the way, I have no problem because I had somebody give me the manifesto of the Unabomber in an email the other day going, well, sometimes you're going to get thrown out trying to steal. Different situation.
Yes.
I am very much an advocate of being aggressive on the base paths.
No, not getting doubled up stupidly.
I love it when there's 2 outs, man on first, and you're trying to steal to try to be able to set yourself up to be able to score a run. I'm all for aggressiveness on the base paths when it's stealing a base in the right situation.
Right.
But trying to take the extra base, not paying attention on the getting picked off.
Well, there's a difference. There's a difference between being aggressive and being dumb.
Absolutely.
And Kyle Schwarber yesterday was dumb.
That was just dumb.
Nick Castellanos earlier in the season hitting basically a base hit right to the center fielder and trying to get a double out of it was dumb. Like, there is a difference between being aggressive and being dumb. And so far this year, through 9 games, they have been dumb. They actually have been, I think, thrown out in the base paths most in Major League Baseball. 6 times, something like that.
This is what I say, and it's one of the things with Rob Thompson. I think Connor asked me about it last week. As far as Thompson, his teams don't get better. They're going to be the 2022 Phillies are going to be the 2023 Phillies are going to be the 2024 Phillies. Now,
that still could get you somewhere.
They're still really good.
Right.
They're still a really, really good team. But the same stupid stuff is going to continue to recur because he does not. whether he doesn't enforce it, whether he doesn't hold players accountable, and I don't believe he does. Because if he did, it wouldn't keep happening.
And somebody would be benched the next day.
Absolutely.
We saw it with Charlie, with J-Roll.
Doesn't happen. I'll take a manager who actually says, look, this is what I want. Oh, and if you don't give it to me, you're going to sit.
But this manager's got you to a World Series and an NLCS.
He has.
So we go from
So did Charlie. So it shows you there's different
Correct.
approaches that can win.
So we go from the undefeated team this weekend with the Sixers, the Phillies, who take 2 of 3 against the Nationals. We wanted a sweep, but they take 2 of 3. They win a series, the first one that they've won so far this year. And then we go to the team that didn't win a game this year, this weekend. And the Flyers are now losers of 7 straight games and are not just looking up in the Metropolitan Division. They're now looking up in the wild card.
Well, here's the one thing you got to say, though, is they are 2 points. They have 2 less possible points than the team they're trailing that they're tied with in their division, the Caps, and the team they're trailing for the wild card in Pittsburgh. So even though the Red Wings are now into that spot. So you're trailing just by a few. It is still conceivable. Is it likely?
Well, that's the
not
thing.
Not the way they're playing. It's not likely the way they're playing.
The Eagles likely could have beaten the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the first round of the playoffs last year. But when I'm watching another collapse unfold before my eyes, and they got crushed 6-2 to Columbus.
That was an absolute abomination.
6-2. I'm sitting there. I'm going, like, what am I watching right now? This is the team, and I know that they've overplayed all season long, and I give them credit for it. But this is a team that I watched making a push for the playoffs, or not even a push. They were in the playoff seedings for the longest time, and they go out and they lay 2 eggs over the weekend. 7 straight eggs. We almost got a freaking dozen of eggs.
No, it's terrible, and there's no spin that it's not terrible down the stretch.
No, it's horrible.
Anyone who's gone, I can't believe it. It's like the Eagles collapse. No, it's freaking not. This is a team with 0 expectations.
Right, it's not the
that
Eagles
way
collapse.
Overplayed all season long. So it is not.
But it's a collapse. It doesn't matter that it's the Eagles or the Flyers. It's a collapse where we're watching it unfold again.
Oh,
and
I got you.
It freaking sucks, man.
But it isn't the Union gagging away a title when by their own ineptitude in somehow managing to screw things up. It's not the Eagles. It's not the Phillies being up again.
It's their own situation. And whether you thought they were going to make the playoffs or not, nobody thought that they were going to make the playoffs. Nobody thought that they would be competing for the playoffs. But we watched this team collapse, and it sucks. Whether it's John Tortorella's fault, players' fault. I don't fault anybody. I'm not complaining about players. I'm not complaining about coaches. It just freaking sucks. As a fan, I'm sitting here miserable that I'm going to potentially miss out on another spring of playoff hockey in Philadelphia.
There were people that I tried to convince to say, stop saying they're in. They're not in.
I said that they were in.
They're not in. And they weren't because it wasn't. This building was built on shifting sand. What they accomplished this year, if they end up with, let's say they win one more, and that's not a given. Let's say they win one more.
What, 85
points? Are you freaking kidding me? Nobody thought that.
No, nobody thought that.
But when you can't believe they had to be there before being there. And right now.
And I'm living in real time, right? So before the season started,
Sure.
You're right. I didn't expect them to have 85 points to end the season, but I'm living it right now. And right now, it sucks watching them drop 7 straight.
And I'll tell you, Sam Urson has been amazing helping them be where they're at.
Up until this point, and now.
But he's a major part of why they've collapsed.
Yep.
He's been overworked. He's not up for the challenge. He's not ready to be a starting goaltender yet in the NHL for that kind of volume, and it just didn't work out. I advocated over and over again.
For a veteran.
Go get a veteran goaltender. Go get one.
Yeah.
And they didn't do it. And I understand why they didn't do it, because they weren't going to vary from their plan.
Nope.
That this is a rebuild.
They told you that, and they did it.
And they easily could have overpaid for a veteran goaltender.
Right.
They didn't.
All right.
And it's paying off.
So there's the 10-minute reaction